My son called me and said, "Mom, I'm getting married tomorrow. I've withdrawn all your money and sold your apartment." He called me on a Wednesday evening with a level of excitement I hadn't heard in years. "Mom, I have great news. Tomorrow I'm marrying Vanessa. We aren't waiting anymore. We're having a surprise party at the Mirador del Pacifico Club." I almost opened my mouth to congratulate him, but he interrupted with almost childish joy. "Oh, and one more small thing. I've transferred all the money from your accounts to mine. I'll need it for the wedding and the honeymoon in Paris. As for your oceanfront apartment, the one you love so much, I've already sold it. I signed the papers this morning using the power of attorney you gave me last year. The money is in my account, and the new owners want you out within 30 days. Anyway, Mom, see you. Or maybe not." Then he hung up. I stood frozen in the middle of my living room, staring at the ocean through the wide windows of my Puerto Vallarta apartment. There was total silence. Any other mother would have screamed, cried, or begged. But me, I burst out laughing. I laughed until I had to sit down so I wouldn't fall. Because my son, my brilliant lawyer son, had made the worst mistake of his life. My name is Teresa Villaseñor. I am 64 years old, and every peso I own cost me years of toil and sacrifice. My late husband Ernesto and I started with a small bakery that eventually grew into a chain. When Ernesto passed away, I sold the business and invested everything in real estate and funds managed by a family holding company called Villaseñor Patrimonio. My son Diego always loved the easy way out, and everything worsened when Vanessa appeared, an influencer who smiles with her mouth but calculates with her eyes. Diego took advantage of my illness months ago when I had pneumonia and made me sign papers I thought were for insurance, but they were a power of attorney. What Diego didn't know is that all my properties are registered under the company's name, and I am the lifetime director with absolute powers. No property can be sold without my digital signature. Diego only stole the pocket change from my current account. As for the apartment, he sold something he didn't own, committing full-scale fraud. I called my old lawyer, Roberto, and told him not to stop the disaster, but just to watch it. The next evening, I went to the party at the Mirador del Pacifico. I wore an elegant black dress. When Diego saw me, he said sarcastically, "Mom, what are you doing here? You should be looking for a hotel." I smiled and said, "I just came to see your latest investment." In the middle of the party, as Diego raised his glass for a wedding toast, the buyer and the police burst in. The buyer shouted, "The wedding is over. The land registry rejected the transaction. The apartment isn't yours, and your power of attorney is worthless against company assets." Everything collapsed. Accounts were frozen, forgery charges were filed, and Vanessa began screaming at him, calling him a failure. I approached Diego and whispered in his ear, "You stole raw bread, Diego, and now you must pay the price." I walked out of the hall with firm steps, returned to my apartment, breathed in the sea air, and slept deeply. As for Diego, he spent his honeymoon in a cold cell, learning that the mother is always the one who writes the contract.